We're starting to see an increase in disease and insect issues in our lawns, gardens, and pastures. Instinct tells us to grab a pesticide and to make that insect or disease problem go away. But before using that pesticide, have you read the label to make sure you know how to properly use that product? Reading the label can save you a lot of time, money, and frustration down the line. Reading the label can also help to protect your family, your friends, your neighbors, and even yourself. Hello, I'm Richard Parrish. I'm the County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service in Leon County. There are several reasons why it is important to read a chemical label before using that product. Reading the label can save you money. You want to make sure that you buy the right product for the problem that you're trying to deal with. It is important to remember that not all pesticides will work on every pest problem. The label will tell you what the product is meant to do and how it should be applied. The product label will also tell you how much of the product you will use to treat your problem. Buy only what you need. Some products might not be good if they're stored for too long a period of time. A larger size might not be a good value if you cannot use it all. Finally, the label will indicate the correct amount of product to use as well as how to prepare and how to apply the product. Using more than what is recommended is not better. It wastes the product and it wastes the money that you've spent. In many cases, using more than the recommended amount can harm people, pets, livestock, and the environment. It's important to note that using a product in a way that goes against the instructions on the product label is a violation of the law and can get you into serious trouble. Let me say that again just to drive that point home. Using a chemical product in a way that goes against the instructions on the label is a violation of the law, and it can get you into serious trouble. Remember that the label is the law. There's a lot of information on the chemical label. The label will tell you how to use the product safely and effectively. In many cases, as with home pesticides, pesticides that are used inside the home, they're designed to be applied as purchased. You might just spray the container or sprinkle a little bit of the powder or set out the bait in the home. You're going to use them as they're purchased. But with pesticides to be used in the lawn or the garden or the pasture, mixing the pesticide with something such as water is usually going to be required. The directions on the label will guide you on how to properly mix the pesticide. Additionally, follow the directions on the label about wearing gloves or other protective equipment or protective clothing. Understand when and how to apply the product and when it is safe for people or pets or livestock to re-enter the area that's been treated. Know how long you might have to wait after applying that product before picking fruits or vegetables or maybe even harvesting hay or letting livestock graze on that grass. Many pesticide labels will provide you with environmental conditions on when the proper time to apply the product is. Do not apply pesticides on a windy day when you run the risk of the product drifting onto your neighbor's property and potentially damaging something in their landscape or even potentially harming your neighbor. Apply a product according to the label directions to prevent harm to the environment. Do not apply a product where it could run into ponds or creeks or other water supplies and contaminate drinking water or even kill wildlife. Make sure that you keep your pesticides in the original containers. It is very dangerous to put pesticides in food or beverage containers. Children or even adults might think that it's something that they're familiar with. Maybe it's like a juice or a soda bottle and that it's okay to drink. But that's not always the case. If you throw away the original container, you throw away important information in case of an emergency, important information that you're going to need in case of an emergency. If the label tells you to mix a product in another container, then use up all of that mixture that you've mixed in that other container. If you cannot use all of the mixture at once, label the new container for future use, and make sure that you have the safety information with that container and that you store it properly so that it is out of reach of children and other people. In addition to the instructions on for use on the product, many labels contain first aid information and where you can call for help or more information. If you need medical assistance because of chemical exposure, make sure that you have the product label with you when you visit with first responders and medical professionals. The label provides those helping you with important information about that chemical product. By taking a few minutes to read a label on a pesticide container, you're going to be saving a lot of time, money, and frustration. Do not just assume you know how to use a product. Protect yourself and others. Read the label and remember that the label is the law.